And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, where are you? That'll tell you whether it's good morning, good evening. It's the John Lavenia Success Mastermind. I'm your guy, Glen Henderson, for this Wednesday, the 24th of March of 2021. It's a big week because of what happened on Monday evening. Was that not off the hook or what? And then happening tonight. Let's do a little housekeeping so everybody knows what we're talking about. You are in the general session this morning. So glad to see a hospitality suite coming right after this. Swing on by and say hello, bring a cup of joe and hang out with us this afternoon at 3 Eastern Daylight Time. It's Books for Britain with our good friend Mandy Anderson. And then tonight, back to it. Networking magic has been preempted, and John Lavenia, our fearless leader, will be back with us this evening for our book study on the science of getting rich. Have you read your chapters? It's going to be a fabulous conversation tonight. And yeah, somebody was just asking, Mandy, let's just confirm that. What's happening tonight with Books for Britain? Let us know.
Hi, Glenn. I was just about to say I've put a post on the JLSM Facebook page to ask people. I did this yesterday. Do you want me to carry on with Science of Getting Rich for the next 4 weeks, or do you want us to miss Books for Britain for 2 weeks and start a new book on the 7th of April, I think it is, but you use the recordings from John's workshop? I'm attending the workshop, but most people aren't because it's 1 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the morning for us.
Yes.
So yeah, please go over to the Facebook page and let me know what you want, and we'll go with whatever the majority is tonight.
She said. Let the people.
Thanks, Ben.
And
Thanks,
so we're looking forward to seeing all of us this evening for John's conversation around a collection of proven truths, practical truths from over 100 years ago. It's pretty exciting stuff. It can change your life even from way back then. It may be a slightly shorter conversation today because this is an absolutely insane week. I've got a couple other meetings. I've got a lunch meeting that I need to run off to, and stuff going on tonight. Plus, I don't know if I'd mentioned, we are putting our house up for sale. The listing goes live this Friday, so you can imagine the running around between now and Friday. And so there was one particular thing that I wanted to talk with you about. John mentioned yesterday, I think it was yesterday on Monday, that a lot of times when he starts up these general sessions, what were his exact words? He says, most of the time, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. He said, something just comes up for me at any particular time and any given moment. As a matter of fact, I think that I have seen John get an idea in the middle of saying something else. And so, for someone with a mind as fertile and as creative as that of our friend Mr. Lavenia, well, now wait a minute. Mark Rickle is here. Holy moly! Good to see you, brother. Wow, and Coral looking fab as John and Mandy. I was about to launch in without saying hello to my friends here. Daisy, your background is different. Nice to see you. Carl, front and center for my screen. Linda and Gail, Virginia, the best cannoli cookies of all time. That's right. Suzanne, holding it down for us over in Switzerland. Evelyn, how are you doing, Madam Chop Chop? Nice to see you. And it's Ace in space. You see what I did there? You see it? Cyril, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. And Toba Nancy bending over backwards to serve us here in the community. Nice picture, Nancy. Emma, hello. Sandra and Julia's here. Who else? Oh, wait. Wait, she who must not sleep. Good afternoon, Ivier. Nice to see you. And the money mama is here. What's up, Lindsay? Hey, say hello to that dude. Say hello to that dude for us. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Godzilla himself is among us. John, good to see your file photo. Is that the one they have up in the post office, John? Just so I know how to identify. Something happened to me yesterday. Okay, now we can talk since everyone has been meted and greeted. Is that a word? Meted and greeted? Something happened yesterday. I was in the middle of running around and I realized that the gas tank in my truck was almost empty. And so I stopped at a filling station. As I'm filling it up, yeah, we pump our own gas here in Texas. And a young fella come up to me, virtually in tears. Sir, listen, I'm not asking for any money. Just can I talk with you for a second? He says, my dad just kicked me out of the house, and I'm on my way over. I looked, and his car's stuffed full of, luggage and stuff, as you do. And he says, I'm on my way over to my mom's place. She lives in, such and such town. It's about an hour away. I got no gas. And, I'm just wondering if you could help me out with a couple of gallons of gas. And I started to say no. You know how you do almost reflexively, right? No, I'm sorry, can't help you, right? And then I caught myself. And two things occurred to me. Number one, the first thing that occurred to me was the founding principle of the networking organization that I'm involved with called BNI, Business Networking International. Perhaps you've heard of it. The core principle, the first core principle of BNI is givers gain. You can write that down if you want to. Givers gain. And that was the first thing. The second thing I thought of was, oh, wait a minute. It's almost Wealth Wednesday. It's Tuesday. It's Wealth Wednesday Eve. Plus, I mean, you know how you get a vibe of people sometimes? And I sometimes somebody asks you for something like that, and they're jiving you. They're running a game, right? They're just looking to go, get some extra money and buy some booze or something or whatever it is. I got a very different vibe off of this young man. There was and look, maybe I got scammed. Maybe I was about to get scammed. But there was a look of sincere desperation in this young man's eyes. He's in his 20s, I think. And I thought, yeah, you know what, man? I got you. So I went and swiped my card in the pump where he was, and I said, yeah, man, go ahead. He said, thanks so much. I said, yeah, go ahead, fill it up. And I think I was on the right track. I think I followed the right instinct, because as soon as I said that and he's gassing up, the young man broke down in tears right there in front of me. Thank you so much, sir. I can't tell you how I appreciate, and I said to him, hey, it's my pleasure. And I said, and by the way, your answer is out there and you'll find it. And I could tell that he really got that. And so that was kind of a magical moment for me yesterday for a couple of reasons. It was the right thing to do. And even if this young fellow was scamming me, but I didn't get that sense. You know what I mean? But even if he was, I am learning to be more addicted to my activity than I am to other people's response. And say that again. I learned this, you hear this in various forms over the years, don't you? Just do the right thing, regardless of what somebody else does. I heard it most recently from my friend Ray Higdon, who's a top top-notch network marketing leader and trainer and coach. And he always says, you know, consistency, if you to overcome the emotional challenges, to overcome the emotional hurdle of working consistently, sometimes without immediate result. The key is to be more addicted to your activity than to someone else's response. Because I know that I am doing the right thing consistently. I know I'm putting in the work consistently that I need to put in. And that's all that matters. The results must and will come as long as I continue to work consistently. So that was one of the thoughts. And it reminded me, and this is what I really want to focus on today, is the magic of Wealth Wednesday. We haven't talked about Wealth Wednesday in a while. For those who are new to this concept, quick definition: Wealth Wednesday is and yes, you're allowed to do it other days of the week too. Here's the concept. Here's the principle of Wealth Wednesday. On Wednesday, you must perform a random act of kindness for a complete stranger involving a financial exchange. Give you a couple of examples, and I'm sure you're thinking of examples yourself right now. A couple of examples. Pay for the person behind you in the coffee shop drive-through. If you're driving through a toll booth, pay $1 for the person behind you in the line, in the queue at the toll booth. If you're in the supermarket, it's one of my favorites. In the supermarket, go to the baby food section. Find a can of baby formula, lift up the little plastic lid, slip a $5 or a $10 bill in there. Even $2, a couple of bucks, a couple of quid, doesn't matter. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is that a lot of young parents, young mothers are struggling financially, you know, particularly when their family is starting out. And I have actually seen posts on Facebook, on social media, of somebody with a picture of a can of baby formula, the lid lifted up, and oh my gosh, what a blessing is the caption. Somebody left a little money under the lid, and it was exactly what I needed at exactly the time. Thank you so much. Whoever you are, thank you so much. That kind of thing. Paula's favorite thing is to go to a Goodwill store, a secondhand shop, go to the baby section, the children's section, and stick a $10 bill, a $5 or a $10 bill in the pocket of a baby jacket. And what I like to do sometimes is I have these cards that I got a while ago, and a lot of times I'll take a $10 or a $20 bill and fold it inside the card, and just on the blank card I'll write, "Hope this brightens your day. Happy Wealth Wednesday." No name, no nothing, no reference, no way that the person can. And the key is, it's best to do it in a situation where the person cannot possibly pay you back. One time, Paula and I were going through, we had stopped at a Buc-ee's filling station. Anybody know what Buc-ee's is? It's like, okay, take a petrol station, a convenience store, a supermarket, an auto parts store, a dry goods store, a deli, and a barbecue joint, and roll them all into one, and you got Buc-ee's. They're massive, these places. You drive up, it's along the highway, you're normally along what we call Interstate 10, I-10, that runs along the south and southern part of the states, from California all the way to Florida. I-10 goes all the way through. And they've got a lot of this place, and kid you not, they have 100 petrol filling stations, 100 of them. So nobody's got to queue up for gasoline. It's that kind of place. And you can get barbecue charcoal there. You can buy a fire pit. You can buy a new shirt, a new t-shirt. You can buy, seriously, you can buy 10 pounds of kangaroo jerky if you want, whatever you want. You can probably, most of what you want, you can probably find it at Buc-ee's. So anyway, one time, Paul and I were driving through, we'd stopped at a Buc-ee's for petrol and everything else. I picked up a couple of things, and we went up to the cashier, and we paid for whatever it was in cash. The change was, I don't know, $5 or $6, something like that. And we said to the cashier, listen, keep the change and apply it to the bill of the person behind us, whoever comes up to your station next. Really? Wow, that's real nice. Here's the magic. So you have some examples, things you can think of. Drop a thought in the chat of something you might like to do for Wealth Wednesday, and we'll talk about it more in a second anyway. What's the real magic of Wealth Wednesday? It may or may not be what you think. Yeah, Wealth Wednesday is cool because it's a chance for you to help somebody out. Somebody can have their lives changed, improved, their day brightened. As a matter of fact, I've been told stories of someone who was the recipient of a Wealth Wednesday service who at the time was quite literally on their last hope. Somebody had just gone through a divorce, the death of a family member, or had just lost their job or lost their house or had just gone bankrupt or whatever it was. And, a young lady got pregnant and the dude disappeared, whatever the situation, right? And so many stories I've heard of people saying, I was this close. I was this close to giving up. I was this close to going out. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to the supermarket and there was $20 under the lid of the baby food. Or I was going to get this drive-through and this was the last coffee I was ever going to have. And then the person in front of me paid for my coffee. Wow. It gave me hope for that one more day. It let me know that it's not all lost. Like somebody else in the world cares. Imagine what that does for someone else's view of the world. There are people out here who really think that all of humanity is doomed, that we're all evil and terrible people and there's no hope for humankind. And then somebody pays for their coffee. It sounds so simple and stupid, but it can change everything for someone. Like the old story. You've heard it 100 times, right? You've heard this story 100 times about the guy walking down the beach and he sees a man off in the distance throwing stuff into the water, throwing. And he goes up and finally reaches the guy and sees there's 100 starfish all over the beach that have been washed up and died and everything. And this guy's grabbing starfish, throwing them in the water. There's hundreds of them. And the gentleman says to him, what are you doing? Can't you see how many starfish are out here? They're all finished. I mean, you think you're going to make a difference to all these starfish? You really think what you're doing is going to make a difference in the world? And the guy looks at him, reaches down, picks up the starfish, looks at the starfish and said, it'll make a difference for this one, and throw it back into the sea. So who knows which life you're going to brighten, who knows which life you might actually save by performing a random act of kindness. That's magical. It's not the real magic of Wealth Wednesday, though. The real magic of Wealth Wednesday, catch this, class. The real magic of Wealth Wednesday is how it makes you feel. Oh, Glenn, that's so selfish. Oh, Glenn, I'm supposed to be generous, right? You're supposed to do for other people. It's supposed to be about service to others. Yes. Doesn't serving others make you feel good? Doesn't helping other people give you a better feeling about yourself? And ultimately, what are we all looking for? We are looking for a feeling. But, nobody goes to the hardware store and buys a 3/8 inch power drill, because they want a 3/8 inch power drill. They go to the hardware store and buy a power drill because they want a hole in their wall. But people don't want a hole in their wall. Not really. You know what they want? They don't want the drill. They don't want the hole in the wall. They want a place to put a hook so they can hang a picture. But they don't even want to hang the picture. Beautiful as the picture is, beautiful as the painting is. That's not what you want. It's not what you want. Here's what you want. You want the feeling of pride and satisfaction when your friend comes over and says, "Oh, what a beautiful picture." That's what you want. Ultimately, what you want is to feel better about yourself and about life. Am I right or am I right? So, the real magic of Wealth Wednesday is in knowing that by performing this single act on this one day, and yes, of course, you can do it any day of the week you want. I try to do a couple a week, several, 2 or 3 Wealth Wednesdays a week. I did one yesterday. Well, it's Wednesday. I got to do another one today. I get to do another one today. The real magic is in how it changes you. With me, I felt in that moment, I felt myself becoming filled with emotion. Watching this young fellow fill up his gas tank and go on his way with like, "Thank you so much, sir, appreciate it." And gave me a good firm handshake, you know. It's one of those, you felt this sometimes, haven't you, Mark, John, Evelyn, somebody who you knew was really down on their luck, but then something turns for them and they reach and you can feel the strength back in their hand. You can feel a little bit of strength returning to them because things are looking a little bit better. Things are starting to look up, right? So I felt better. I felt fulfilled. I felt more connected to my fellow man. I felt more connected to society, more connected to humanity. Just slightly, just that much more connected to the divine, more connected to the universe. Yeah. From giving a guy a couple of gallons of gasoline, I felt more connected to the divine. You believe that? Believe it. And the point is, why not do this, things like this, all the time? Ray Higdon was the first one that I heard talk about this particular name, Wealth Wednesday. And Ray believes that, here's what Ray believes, and I agree. We've got, what, 25 people here, a couple dozen people on the call here. What if every one of us participated in Wealth Wednesday every week? That's a couple of 100 acts of kindness every month. And what if somebody sees you doing it? You know, mention something on your social media or wherever. Make a comment. "Oh no, Glenn, you shouldn't do that. You're supposed to perform your charity in secret. You don't brag about doing good for others." Well, okay, if you want to make that argument, here's my counterpoint that I would offer. What if someone else sees you performing this or hears about what you've done for someone else and they think, "Hey, you know, that's really cool, this maybe I ought to try this Wealth Wednesday thing." See how you do it. A couple dozen, all of a sudden becomes 100. All of a sudden becomes several hundred. All of a sudden, we got 1,000 people performing Wealth Wednesday every week. We could literally alter the vibration of this planet by doing good for other people, doing good for one other person. And let somebody know about it because maybe you inspire someone else. So Yesterday was a good day. Here's a challenge. Here's your homework. Since I don't get to give you homework this evening with Networking Magic, here's your homework. Next Wednesday morning, which will be what? The 31st of March. Can you believe March is almost over already? Holy moly, where did the time go? Huh. So anyway, next Wednesday, we're going to be back here with another general session. I want to hear from you about what you did for Wealth Wednesday. There's your homework. And it doesn't really matter. We've seen you've heard about a couple of examples, the baby food, the Goodwill store, pay for the person behind you at the coffee shop, or whatever it is. Pick your kindness and do it and see what happens. See how you feel and come back and let us know about it. All right, I'm done talking. And just in time, the Lieutenant Colonel has arrived on our shores and is back ready to address us. Mark, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Glenn. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a rather interesting couple of weeks, so I won't get into all of it. I made a little comment in the chat, but this was a really great topic today. I was kind of goofing around with it. Something happened to me yesterday. First thing I want to do is show everybody this book.
Nice.
And this is my my reading for tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, John. This is a different reading. Yeah, I know we're doing some different reading tonight.
John see you.
But the reason I want to bring this book up is because actually this kind of falls right in lockstep with what you're talking about today in Wealth Wednesdays. Yesterday, normally when somebody comes to my door, I see them coming up the driveway, I'll answer the door and just, say, whether it's UPS, wherever, just, be friendly, say hi, how's it going? All these little niceties, these little things make a difference in a person's life. They might be having a hell day. And just, one person in the whole bunch decides to go, hey, how you doing, man? We have those Lind chocolates, from Costco. I'll keep a whole box of them in the garage. And every once in a while, for no reason at all, I just have just something snaps and I go running in and say, hey, hold on, UPS driver. And I'll go in and I'll come out and I'll get one. And he says, hey, look, I know you guys are working pretty hard. You're probably on OT. And it's just, it's this last year's been kind of rough. So I'll hand out. We keep probably a stack of 20 or 30 of those things in the garage. And that's exactly what I do. It doesn't have to be, the holidays or Christmas, or Easter. It's just, a moment and just to hand out, just to brighten up somebody's day, the postman, whatever. But yesterday, so these people show up in and I couldn't go to the door. I just, because I'm on quarantine. So I kind of stayed away from that. But I went down after they left and this book was left. And I don't have it here, but this silver can, 16-ounce can of beer. And I'm going like, what the heck is this? So I open it up and this is what's on the inside. So what this is apparently is, and this guy didn't really write his name or initial it very well. Underneath it says USMC. So obviously he's a fellow Marine. He was a young guy, and so it's just, hey, read the book if you want. I guess if you want to drink the beer or pass it forward, but he wants to read this book, and this is a true story. This is about a guy who was a young Marine in the early 60s, got out. He was too old to go back in when Vietnam was really heightening. So what he did, we used at some bar in New York from another guy who was a former Army guy, and they called this guy Colonel because he had a bar and everybody used to go there in one of the one of the suburbs of New York. And this guy made this comment because at the height of the Vietnam War back in the late 60s, a lot of people were dying, and in their town alone, 19 guys had already been killed in Vietnam. So he made this, the bar owner made this flippant comment, kind of like, we should go over there and give them all a beer. I'd go there right now if I could. This guy happened to be a merchant Marine. After his time in the Marine Corps, he got all the certifications. So what did he do? He took it for real, and he went over to Vietnam, and he actually traveled around Vietnam, got into firefights, got into, almost got caught by the Viet Cong. And all he did was he traveled around there with a 5-ton full of beer, taking beer around to as many guys and people that he knew from his hometown.
Wow.
And you want to talk about paying it forward, or talk about Wealth Wednesday? That's like wealth every day, and he went out there, and the dues that he paid. So I just find this really fascinating. And again, we talk about law of attraction, right? And here we are, here we are in John Lavenia's mastermind group, and we talk about this force that we attract and how we fall upon each other to put all things together. This book shows up on my doorstep yesterday, and I'm supposed to apparently read it as quickly as I can, sign it, and pass it on to the next guy, and just keep paying it forward. And I can't go today, but every Wednesday at noontime, I meet up with a bunch of old timers. I'm one of the younger guys. These guys, we have guys from, Cliff Moon, for example, was on Saipan. He stormed the beaches of Saipan.
Wow.
He's 94 now. But these guys, I'll bet somebody from the Vietnam era probably knows who this guy is. And I was going to pass this book forward. So I'm going to make a phone call to my next door neighbor, who was in the 196th Airborne Cavalry, Dan Woods. Some of you might know him because he's a big custom car developer. He's the guy who created and built the Pink Panther mobile, and the Roach Coach, and the milk truck. And he, was really strong friends with Don Garlitz. And I mean, he was in that whole realm. This guy is an amazing guy. He's like 70 something, and he was in Vietnam, lost about half his company in one of those firefights that they had over there. So he's got a long history thing. So I might just give him the book and say, look, pass it on, or I'm trying to do a quick read on it so I can give it to him, because I only got a couple hours before lunch, but I'll see if I can skim through this enough. But I thought, what a great story, and what a great moment to get a book like this and then sign it and pass it on. And it's sort of like, I wonder if, and there's no other instructions. I'm kind of wondering if this is left on purpose, like when it gets to the end, it's going to go to somebody in particular that we don't know who it is yet. And that has been purposely left off. The verbal instructions, because I didn't get any. So I'm just going to, here's one for you, John. Message to Garcia. Okay. So all I'm going to do is just move through this, pass it on, and keep it going. And damn the torpedoes.
That's
interesting. What I got for today.
Wow, that's really, and here I was thinking, well, Wednesday was all cool. That I got to get that book. The Greatest Beer Run Ever. The title of the book is phenomenal. It's fantastic. Thank you, Mark. That is good stuff. And it reminds me that there's no limit to the good we can do when we simply decide to do something good. What a difference we can make in people's lives. Wow, very, very cool. And you still have no idea where this book came from or who left it on your doorstep. No clue.
I'm trying to read the guy's name here. It looks like Myatt W. Mills. It's hard to, but and I didn't recognize the guys when he came up, and it looked like maybe his wife was driving a small Nissan truck or something. And I wanted to go down and say hi, but I was on quarantine. I'm not supposed to do anything right now or talk to people. So after they left, I went down and looked at it and said, oh my gosh, man, I wish I really had answered that door. To hell with the quarantine. But no, that's okay. I'll pay my dues, and I'll be cool about it for now. I'll need a couple more days till they give me my results back. And so it's kind of cool. You're it, sign.
Yeah, your tag, you're it. Pass it on.
That's
So
kind of cool. So I wonder how many signatures are going to end up across this book, and if this
yeah,
guy's going to somehow chase this down or
yeah.
whatever. I just thought,
Well,
wow, what a way to, and it just kind of made my day. And
and in a
your comments
sense,
today.
yeah, there you go.
Thanks, man.
And in a sense, does it really matter where the book ends up? It's going to end up in the hands of somebody where it's going to do some good. Fantastic. Oh, by the
There you
way,
go.
hey everybody,
Yeah.
tag, you're
Yeah.
it. It's Wealth
Tag,
Wednesday.
you're it. That's right.
You've been tagged.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Thanks,
I know
Glenn.
you've got
Great.
some ideas. You'll do something, and really, I mean it so sincerely. You'll improve somebody else's life, and you'll change your own. You do this often enough, you'll change your own life. You'll change your own view of the world. It really does work. Well, my friends, I did mention we might have a little slightly shorter get together today. So unless there is another thought that someone has that you are just burning to share with us, I will leave us with a little housekeeping, a little reminder of our housekeeping notes. I cannot wait for tonight. Hospitality Suite right after this, 1 o'clock Eastern-ish. It's pretty much, it's open pretty much all the time. Books for Britain. That discussion is underway, as Mandy has reminded us. So go jump on the poll and let us know. Hey, Mandy, what's on your mind?
Hi, Glenn. It's me again. I thought I'd nip in here.
Yeah.
It's really coincidental, but Mark, I've also heard about that book. I think they interviewed the author on one of the radio programs over here, saying that he had a lot of friends or a group of friends, and they always used to go for beers together. And so he wanted to go out and find his friends. And it's an amazing story. It really is. Yeah, what he did and how he got around. He just got lifts everywhere and got to his last friend, but I won't say any more because you haven't got to the end yet. And it's brilliant. And I also, I had a situation a bit like yours, Glenn, when this was quite a few months back now. I was in a supermarket car park. It tends to happen in those places, but a supermarket car park, and a lady came up to me. It must have been about 10 o'clock at night. I'd just been shopping, and she came up and she was crying and shaking a bit and looked really stressed. And she said to me, she needed, or her husband, or no, her partner had been violent towards her. She needed to get away. She needed to get to a refuge. And she didn't know what to do. And she was really, and I'm usually quite good at recognizing people as well, in the same way you do, but you never really know for sure. And also you never really know what if you say no and then you get it wrong and they really were in that situation, because I think that would be even worse. I did question her a bit and I said, well, how do I know? Because she was asking for £14. She said, I need £14 to get a taxi to get to the station. And she said, so I said, how do I know you're not going to go and spend it on drugs or drink? Just asked her the question. She said, I'm not. I mean, obviously she would say that, but it was just like I was umming and ahhing. Anyway, I said to her, she said, oh, he's knocked my tooth out. She had a black eye as well, which sort of added to that. And she was in such state. She even got on her knees at one point, started begging. And I thought, I know. So I said, look, I've got £12 in my purse. It's all I've got. I said, you can have it. I said, take it. I said, do you think you can get the other £2? There were some other people by the pub. So this was before lockdown. So she took it. She said, thank you. She went, and I saw her go over to the people by the pub and asking them for just £2 now. I don't know if they were going to give it to her or not. But that was all I had. And I just said to her as she left, I said, I really hope you get where you need to get to. I hope she was telling me the truth. I did see her about 2 months later. In a different supermarket, not asking the same thing, but she was starting to come up to me and ask, and I said, no, I've met you before, I'm not doing this. But she may have been lying to me. She may have just gone back to her abusive partner. I don't know. But I stand by what I said, which was, I'd rather give it to them and not have to think that what if I hadn't and something really bad happened to them. So does it make you feel better? Yeah, I suppose so. It does when I give some money to some homeless people and I think, or food. And I think, well, I just want them to feel human and not to feel that everybody's walking past them and ignoring them all the time, which is what happens. But I do love your idea of doing it in secret as well. So yeah. Although you might find after a while that you see all these people in supermarkets lifting up the lids of baby food to see if they can find some money once they get used to it.
Well,
but yeah, so it's a lovely idea.
And of course, the key, as we said before, is thank you, Mandy. What you were talking about, wondering whether this lady was shining you on or whatever. The key, of course, as we said, is to be more addicted to our activity than to someone else's activity or response, because I cannot control what someone else will do. I can control my own actions and my own choices. That's good. I wonder, I wonder if she ever got to the station. Thank you for sharing that, Mandy. Virginia, what's happening?
Hi, good day, everyone. So I missed the last few minutes. I had to mute you guys to go do something for work, but getting the gist of what everyone's saying. And I would just like to share what I have been doing for several years, because it comes from, again, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And he tells us how to allocate percentages of our income. And he allocates 10% to giving. Now, some people might only want to do 5 or whatever. So I actually have a Capital One online account that automatically transfers money or receives money every paycheck, or once a month goes over there automatically. And I have certain charities I give to, but I keep cash in my pocket because we have a lot of homeless here in the Denver area. And I can hardly get off an interstate exit ramp without somebody standing there with a sign. And yes, sometimes I look at them and say, go get a job, seriously, and other times most of the time, I just reach into cash I keep in my purse and go, here you go. There's been a few instances where I've bought them food if they were like sleeping under a tree by the gas station, and I talked to a girl couple months ago, and she'd been homeless for like 15 years. This lady who must be in her, I don't know, early 30s or something. It's going to be hard to change that lifestyle when you've been on the street for 15 years. But I bought her some food and made sure she had water and everything. And I kept feeling that pressing in my soul too. I would like leave, and I felt this. No, you need to go back and buy her some food. So I did, and I got her some food. There was a fast food place right next door, so I got her what she wanted. And then I said, I left again, and there was a pressing, no, you need to go back because it's going to rain and you've got extra umbrellas in your car that you never used. So I went back and I said, I don't know, but I keep getting this feeling I'm supposed to keep coming back and give you more and more things. And so I did, and I haven't seen her again. But my point here is, at the end of it all, whoever, after we die, we stand in front of whatever deity, if there is one, if you believe in that or not, and you only have to be responsible for what you did in your life. You don't have to be responsible whether the person you gave the money to turned around and bought drugs. That's not your bag. So it relieves me of that thought process. Should I, shouldn't I? Unless I get this really feeling like, oh no, you're just here to go get your next fix. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I've been in a lot of countries. I've traveled a lot. I've been in a lot of countries that are so poor and people are begging on every corner. And I feel so bad for them that in America, I feel we have so much opportunity to this. Someone actually has to beg for a handout. I'm not going to say no in most cases. So that's just how I do it. And again, it's thanks to T. Harv Eker, who said, put some money away so then you don't have to worry about it. It's not like, oh, this is coming out of my pocket. No, I've already allocated that money. It's not mine anymore.
Nice. Well, let's hear it for T. Harv Eker and for you, Virginia.
It just works. It makes it easy. It makes it like guilt-free.
Kindness, right? Yes. Consistent kindness. I like it. Make plan for it. Plan to be kind. Plan to do good, right? We generally make time for the things, we generally prioritize the things that are truly important to us. And clearly for you, Virginia, charity, kindness is important. Kindness is a priority. And we would do well. We do well to follow your example.
And I want to say also, I know EVA has said many times where she has just randomly done these massive acts of kindness and, bought gifts and things for people. And I think she also has maybe the money already allocated. So it doesn't feel like it's being taken from me, So, anyway.
That's interesting. Yeah, that is really a good way to do it. It's like plan it. Okay, this money you've already spent. It doesn't belong to me. So that's good. That is good, Virginia. Thank you. Janet, how are you, ma'am? What's happening?
Hi. Well, very inspiring. Thank you. Virginia, I love your idea. Put some money aside. It doesn't belong to you anymore. That's terrific. I've been scammed and we all kind of, you want to give to those who need and those who are scamming you, whatever. But, when I was taking classes at night classes this one time, and it was like there were so many people who targeted. I felt like if I gave $1 to each person the 2 days a week that I was at that college, I'd have to get a part-time job just to support that particular thing. So it's like, hey, I'm a student right now, but I have to say that I more buy food for someone. If I might be at a bus stop and there's a store there and there's someone needing, I'll say, what can I get you? I'm going in the store. What can I get for you? Something like that. And one day this guy, and he was really nice, he was really clean. He wasn't mental somewhere. And that doesn't mean that they don't need stuff too. But he was just really a very centered person. And he said, excuse me, he says, could you get me? And he showed me the bottle of the painkiller that he needed. And he wanted in it, he wanted it in capsule form, not in this. He had very particular things about what he needed. And so, the first response is, and then I said, well, I looked at it and I looked at him and he was so, I wish now that I had sat down and had a conversation with him, honestly, but I had a coupon, a 40% off coupon at this particular drugstore in my hand. And I was going to be getting something for myself because thank you, I could use that 40% off. But I went in the store and, so there's different sizes and different prices work out. And I found this really big one. And with my 40% off, it would have been the same as I paid for the small one. So I used my coupon and bought him a big one. And when I gave it to him, he says, wow, I wasn't expecting that, and so that was nice. And he's explained, he says, I sleep on the ground. The ground is really hard and I have a lot of pain, and that's why I take these. And so that touched me, and I gave it to him, and I remember him, and I looked for him. I haven't found him again, but he was just such a nice person. So it was just my little coupon, it helped him more. So I was pleased to do that, so anyway, great ideas, you guys. Thank you so much.
Good. See, I love talking about a topic like this because it brings out so many ideas. And that's a marvelous thing. We're brainstorming. Who was it? Was it Tony Robbins or somebody else who said, stop spending so much time worrying about what could go wrong and spend more time thinking about what could go right. We're brainstorming ways to help people, ways to change our world for the better. Julia.
Hey, I just wanted to chime in on, whoever said it, Virginia, I guess. In this book, Profit First, it talks, and I learned about this through Shannon's class, but it talks about having different bank accounts for all different things in your business. And one of those is a charity account. So as you're dividing up you pay yourself a profit and your product and your operations and your taxes and so on, they're all in different accounts. And then it's already allocated. Like it was you, Virginia, wasn't it? Anyway, like she said, and it's painless. It's over there, and it's not my money anymore. So that's something you can do with your business too. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent.
Great topic.
Thank you, Julia. Yeah, again, just taking physical action to prioritize what's important to us to do consistently. Great, great stuff. Thank you. Thank you all. This has been so good. I can't wait to hear some of the stories. If you've never done this before, if you've never done a Wealth Wednesday before, this is the week. This is the week to find somebody you can help. Or if you prefer to do it anonymously, head on over to your supermarket. Head on over to your local secondhand shop. Find a baby jacket. $5. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all once again. Hospitality Suite is open, and we shall hear from our good friend Mandy concerning books for Britain. And tonight, the man, the machine, John Lavenia will be back with us with our next installment of The Science of Getting Rich. Hey, thanks so much for spending the time with us today. Go do some good. What was that movie, Mark? Was it The Untouchables? Yeah. Let's do some good today. Have a great one. Make it a great day, my friends. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.